Okay, so today I'm going to talk about failure in 3D printing mostly. Now, you've seen some of the failures that I've done before, but mostly I haven't talked about it. For example, this one. This is the adapter for the cheapest GoPro camera to the gimbal that houses the Zenmuse gimbal on Phantom 2. And in this case I mounted it in the middle, which meant that since the lens on a GoPro is not in the middle, you could see the landing gear. That's now fixed by mounting it not quite in the middle. Well, I had to remake this. Another one is this one. This is a brain chip from Terminator, and as we can see, the tiny holes here aren't being produced quite the way that they're supposed to. There's actually a little, the holes are too tiny, and since this is only a half of the print, when you actually do glue these things together, these are going to not be holes anymore, and that's a bit of a problem, and that has to do with over extrusion. And then we have a rather recent print that I did, which is a skull that had a particular point, which we can see here. That is the topmost point of this, and as I only did one of these prints, I didn't have two objects at the same time. The top of the head ended up getting burnt. And there's also a line of delamination because of cold that happened. Then we have a set of 3D glasses, VR glasses, that I was going to make, and they were supposed to have places for straps here, and instead of getting straps, I got a lot of mess. There was some angel hair spaghetti instead of these things in the printer. And the problems with that thing don't end there, because the lens holders also broke down when I tried to put the lenses in. The lens holders are supposed to go into this thing, but the lens holders, the wall in the lens holders themselves was too thin, and when I actually plugged the lenses in, they broke. So now I can't use that, and I can't use the design, so I'm going to have to reprint a completely new set of VR glasses if I want to use VR glasses with my Samsung Galaxy S5. Then we have I was going to make the Halo Magnum Pistol, and this is a rather old one, and we can see here that this part just came off the printing surface, and this was because I was not using the ABS goo to hold it in place. Instead I just used a raft, and that detached, and that completely destroyed this print. Also, we can see here that the overhang did not print correctly. It's really bad looking. I just decided that I would paint this to see how well the other parts came, and I'm happy with the quality otherwise, but since the bottom part came off the printing surface, it's ruined. Then we have the statue from Team Fortress 2. This particular one had some serious problems with the hat when I originally printed it. I had supports going onto the shoulders, and the hat was completely destroyed when it was first printed. So I had to actually cut his head off, reprint the head, and then reprint the hat as a separate piece. And when I glued them together, I forgot to fill this, so now he has a hole in his back. Then we have the noisy cricket from Men in Black, And this one I'm quite happy with. There are some tiny problems. I used supports with this one, and these tiny holes have supports in them even though they don't really need them, since I used automatic supports, and you couldn't really remove them from those holes. Other than that, and the seam line that happened all over this thing, this one has only a small amount of fail. Then we have this thing. This is from Gurren Lagann, and it's a piece of a headpiece. And as we can see here, there's not enough layers, so you can actually see the honeycomb under the surface. And since there's not enough walls, some of the parts are actually, there's holes in it. I mean, this part is still functional, and if you just paint it once with a white spray paint and then paint the eyes again, it will probably be good enough. But as it is, it still has holes in it. And this is a rather early print that I did, and after that, I learned that you really should use more walls than one or two and have enough top layers to make sure that this doesn't happen. And then I have saved the best fun for last. This one, this is the handle for the scissor blade from Kill la Kill. And this particular one, the handle piece here has been printed like this, in two pieces and then glued together. The rest of it was not. It was, in fact, instead of being printed like this, it was printed vertically like this, and that was a rather bad idea. And then, since I glued all of the layers together with the ABS glue and then got it into the sun, it decided to balloon and is at the moment completely unusable, so I'm going to have to redo the entire thing. And I only used something like 40 hours on this one, and then I fucked it up, and I'm kind of upset that I did, because so much wasted effort. On the other hand, I am actually quite happy with the quality of this part. You can see that it shines like it's supposed to, and I learned a lot during this one. So that I learned in the way that you're supposed to do the sanding and how to get the layers to look good. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it actually, the ballooning happened here. So this is not actually straight. So if I put this thing here, you should be able to see that it actually is angled. Not much, but enough to completely ruin the thing. Well, here we can see it a lot better. Then we have things like this M67 grenade bottom part, and since this was not actually made to be printed, this part here where the primer goes in is one wall thick and has actually cracked a little bit because of that, because it can't handle it. If it was two walls thick, it would probably be fine. Now, here you can see some stars that I made, and these stars are for a project, and the reason why there's 6 of them is that so that every layer would have 2, so that the print head has actually has to move between them, so that you don't get the burning marks that you got on the skull, like this one here. So if you don't want to get those burning marks, or if you want to make something like, let's say, ammunition like these, you're going to have to make them, at least if you make one, it's going to ruin it. It's going to ruin the tip. But if you make more than one, then it has to move between the tips, and the end result is going to look a lot better. But yeah, that's what I had for today, and this is partly the reason why I haven't been making things or publishing things, because, well, the prints haven't really gotten, they have not gone as well as I would have liked them to go, and since I lost a lot of work, for example, in the scissor blade, so now I have almost 40 hours of video on the making of that thing, on all the sanding and the gluing and stuff, and the end result is ruined, and I don't even have pictures of the ruined end result, and one of the pieces has gone missing, so I don't even have the worst piece here so that I could show it to you how badly it's mangled. I'm still making a companion cube, which is similar to this one that I use as my memory card storage. This one is one of the first prints that I made, and it really shows. The surface quality of this thing is horrid, and I've gotten a lot better than this. This one was that because I did not calibrate the width of the plastic that I'm feeding into the thing, so there was a lot of over extrusion. The distance between the lines wasn't correct, so the end result was horrible. So I'm remaking this, and I'm sanding it, and I'm going to paint it so that it's going to look as much as I can make it as the object in the game. Yeah, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.